Welcome. Oh, and Happy New Year. Welcome to the January 2024 edition of the Greenwich Village Folk Festival. I'm Ron Olesko, and I'll be your MC this evening, and it's going to be a very, very special night. We've got a couple changes, which I'll tell you about in a second. But first, again, the Greenwich Village Folk Festival. We've been coming to you the first Sunday of the month since the pandemic began back in 2020. This is a free event. It's available for anybody to watch on YouTube and Facebook and our website, greenwichvillagefolkfestival.org. We also have archives of all the old broadcasts that we've done. And while it's free, we do have a tip jar. So I'll be reminding you of that. And you can find out more information about how you can make a donation to keep this going every month at our website. Again, greenwichvillagefolkfestival.org. You should know that by now. Well, tonight is a very special night, and it's also a night where, unfortunately, a couple of our scheduled performers are under the weather. It is cold and flu season, so just a reminder, if you haven't gotten that flu shot, it's not too late. But tonight, what we're doing is a special presentation of the Seasons Project. This is a project that Christine Lavin put together. She's been producing this, and I'll tell you about it in a second, but unfortunately, Christine can't be with us tonight. She has a terrible case of laryngitis. She is watching this right now, but we want to wish her all the best and thank her for putting this show together. She gathered all the performers together, and this is really a very special night. Unfortunately, two of the other performers who were scheduled to be here, Kat Goldman and Kyle Hencharik, are also under the weather. But we're gonna get through this, and we do have a special guest, a surprise guest, who I'll tell you about in one moment. Again, the artists that you're going to hear tonight are all part of this project, and we're going to be hearing in a few minutes from Daniel Kaner, Jane Godfrey, Tina Ross, Matt Agnes, Greg Greenway, who is filling in. He's also one of our sound people. Judy Cass, Rod MacDonald, Robin Batau, and David Roth. So it's going to be a fun evening. So sit back and enjoy this. Now, back in the summer of 1989, when Christine was in Cleveland, she woke up in the middle of the night with a vivid dream. It was about an album of winter songs, and it even had the title, On a Winter's Night. And that title came from a song that had become sort of an earworm for Christine. It was written by a friend and fellow singer-songwriter, Willie Nininger. And then she started collecting songs that she knew would be perfect for a collection. And a year later, she created a cassette tape. Remember those? It featured 20 songs, and she offered copies for sale at a concert she was doing in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and quickly sold a few $100s worth that very night. Well, later that year, she went on a tour called On a Winter's Night, along with Patty Larkin, David Wilcox, and John Gorka. And soon the album was available everywhere. And then in 1995, she put together a second seasonal album, an album of fall songs, and it was called When October Goes. Both of these albums featured songs for the particular season, but they weren't exclusively seasonal songs, yet every song felt connected. And the albums, well, they became staples of the folk community, particularly for DJs like myself. Now, of course, other projects came up, including forming a group called the Four Bitchin' Babes, plus Christine was producing her own solo work and a slew of other compilation albums that she put together and so much more. So the spring and summer compilations were kind of put on a back burner, but she would keep writing notes to herself now and then when she heard a song that would fit. And it took until the pandemic when that spark was lit again. And it was right here on the Greenwich Village Folk Festival when she heard a song performed by David Lamott called Coming Alive Again, which inspired Christine and also became the title track for a spring compilation. So the work on completing the cycle began. Well, with enough songs for a spring and summer compilation, Christine had her heart set on a box set with new chapters, and the original fall and winter collections were updated and remastered. And in the end, it became the Seasons Project, an 80-song collection featuring 63 of the finest singer-songwriters of the 20th and 21st century. It's over 5 hours of music, and it was issued on a USB drive just a couple of months ago, and it contained both WAV and MP3 files, plus an amazing PDF file with 482 pages of lyrics, biographies, notes, links to artists' websites, even a forward by yours truly. and it was all housed in a gorgeous handmade wooden box created by Ukrainian artisan Mikhailo Chaban. Now, only 300 copies of this limited edition were created, and it has sold out. We don't really know what the next step will be. If any of you out there have some ideas, let us know. Maybe there'll be a future digital edition released, and I suggest checking Christine's website at christinelavin.com to stay informed. Well, tonight we have, let's see, what's the count now? 8 performers left whose songs appear on the collection. And it's truly a diverse slice of what the Seasons Project has to offer. And they're coming to us from different parts of the globe. And I'm really excited to host this special edition of the Greenwich Village Folk Festival honoring the Seasons Project and its producers, Christine Lavin, who, by the way, celebrated a birthday on January 2nd. So happy birthday, Chris. Well, the new summer compilation is called Last Song for You, Music for a Summer Night. And our first artist this evening has a song included in that compilation. Tonight, he's coming to us live from London, England. And his song is particularly fitting as it deals with an issue that is certainly impacting our seasons. Daniel's been a favorite of the Edinburgh Festival for more than 10 years, and he's been known to write songs about anything. He recently was in residence here in New York City at the Soho Rep doing a Christmas special version of his show, Jewish Chronicles, which is also known as Gefilte Fish and Chips. It's a real pleasure to welcome him back to kick off this special edition of the Greenwich Village Folk Festival. Please welcome Daniel Cainer.
Hello, and thank you for being here and watching me from London, live from London. Actually, I thought I've actually got one of those here. Here is one of the actual. Here's the little wooden box that it all comes in. I think the camera can see that. Lovely thing. And it's full. It's full of so much content, so many songs by so many brilliant people, and 4 million pages of liner notes that you'll probably, by the time you finish them, you will be ready for your own little wooden box. Anyway, I digress because I'm going to start with this song which is on it, and it really encompasses all the seasons. Or actually, it really points to a time when there will not be any distinct seasons at all. Don't tell Greta I'm getting on a plane, and then I'm gonna get her another one home again. Don't tell Greta about the things I'm buying. They're arriving all the time on Amazon Prime. Well, the real Amazon is dying. Don't tell Greta about all this. She'll slap me on the wrist. I already know that I should know better, so don't tell Greta. Don't tell Greta I went to the store, but I didn't take a carrier bag, though I've got about 100 at home in the drawer. Don't tell Greta I've been driving too far for work and leisure, though the fuel costs more than the car. Don't tell Greta, she won't be pleased. She'll turn me into the green police, and I'll be singing this song a cappella, so don't tell Greta. We treat Greta like we treat Gaia, despite the famine and the flooding and the fire. It's like God has sent us Greta to make us get our act together and remind us everywhere we go we make and break and take the weather. Don't tell Greta outside's 100 degrees, but you gotta wear a sweater when you're buying your groceries. Or don't tell Greta reality bites. There are mass and test kits floating in the cesspits, filling up the landfill sites. We pile those plastics onto boats and dump them on the tropical coast. Chopped off with a little umbrella, so don't tell Greta. It's getting hotter, there's no denying, but we're still racing, we're still chasing, we're still flying. And as we burn, baby, burn past the point of no return. This is the sound of human nature's mother nature crying. Don't tell Greta. Don't tell Greta. Don't tell Greta. Don't tell Greta.
Daniel.
Thank you, gathered multitude. I would say that song was actually nominated for an award, and I flew 5,000 miles from London to New York to accept it, because obviously that's what you do for an environmental protest song, and I didn't win it either. So, but you know, don't tell Greta. It's the new year, and well, I mean, if I had £1 for every time somebody said to me, "I'm glad that one's over," you know, hope this next year's a better one, then I'd have about as many pounds as I had last year and the year before, and probably the year before that. But a few things have happened to me this year, and one of which was a little bit of a health issue, and so I'm now going to sing a very cheery song about that. I've watched a lot of TV medical dramas. Now I'm in my hospital pajamas, and an actual medical drama's happening to me. They say it's not unusual, they say it's routine. The facts are indisputable, they must go in and clean. Pull backwards through the double doors, through unfamiliar corridors. These walls could be the last things that I see. These diagrams and pictures, what do they all mean? These fittings and these fixtures, this particular shade of green. They say that these adventures are sent to us to test us. Who knows what the next test is going to be for my heart and me. Is it temporary and or chronic, diastolic and or stolic, X-ray and or ultrasonic, blinking and bleeping? Doctors in their masks and hats and scrubs, with their gadgets and their ratchets and their drugs. I'm vaguely hearing their discussion, what they must and what they mustn't, which way works and which way doesn't, while I'm half sleeping in the operating theatre. It's the theatre of my dreams. These memories and these mysteries, these characters and scenes, under the sedation as they do their exploration, we surrender to the powers that be. my heart and me. My heart and me, we are one and the same, though we do not always see things eye to eye. My flesh and blood, my alibi. Are you letting me down, or are you giving me another try? LDL and HDL, one makes you ill, one makes you well, so pop the pills. The medics tell you should be taking the white one and the red one and the thin one and the fat one. This one for the side effects of this one and of that one. Together on a journey from the cradle to the gurney, metaphorically and literally. My heart and me, my heart and me, we are one and the same, though we do not always share each other's news. Thy flesh and blood thou shalt not abuse. From now on I'll take good care of you, if you take good care of me too. All the crimes and misdemeanors, all the things that pass between us, extraneous and intravenous, who and what are we? 60 to 100 beats a minute at rest. All the joy and hope and love and fear inside compressed. If the body is a temple, sing a heartfelt and a gentle Misha Beirach in the sanctuary for my heart and me.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow, Daniel.
I should have set that up slightly by mentioning that the Misha Beirach is the prayer for healing, if you didn't know that. So that was a little bit, that I was quite pleased with. If the body is a temple, then sing the Misha Beirach in the sanctuary of that temple. Okay. I bumbled on a little bit about it being a new year. I mean, the truth is, I don't know what day it is. I haven't quite got to the point in this Christmas New Year period where I know exactly what day it is, what's going on. I think we're sort of on a roll into the new year now, but I'm going to sort of pretend that it has just turned. In fact, I went to see a pantomime last night. Those of you who are not familiar with that format, but that is very much a Christmas holiday kind of thing. And it was his last night, and it felt slightly off that it was a little bit late in the day, and perhaps this song will also sound slightly off too. But let's pretend that it is, I don't know, January the 1st, and we're going to have a little go with this. If I've just written it literally, and we'll see if this is the end of my career or the beginning of a new one. It's been quite a difficult year, to be honest. I don't mean to sound ungrateful, but I'm not. 'Cause I've done what I've done, and I've been where I've been, and I've sung what I've sung. Know what I mean? The pick and choose, the win and lose, the rise and fall. I'm just saying it's been quite a difficult year. that's all. Like the tree you can hear falling in the forest, like the waves upon the shore you cannot stop. There are things you can agree with, there are things that are just plain wrong. There are those you cannot be with, and you have to move on. The give and take, the heartbreak, the battle call. I'm just saying it's been quite a difficult year, that's all. Here comes another one, another chance to make a new start. And in this other one, you and me can play a new part. No more old prejudice, mixed messages, false premises and alarms. No more fake news, miscues, j'accuse. Lay down your arms, first do no harm. In the desert there's a path, and I was on it. From the valley all the way to the mountaintop. And I stood and took in the view, as I stood where Moses stood. And I knew what was true, and I could see what was good. The love we need is still indeed inside us all. I'm just saying it's been quite a difficult year, that's all. Another one, baby. But there's something wrong with the system there. And in this other one, maybe you and me can do things different, yeah. No more corruption, wrong assumption, malfunction down on the farm. Let's have good news, more schmooze. Hey you, lay down your arms, first do no harm. It's been quite a difficult year, to be honest. There's been broigers, there's been noises and noises of. And we've come so far, and we've got what we've got, and we are where we are. Like it or not, whichever way you want to play or spin the ball. I'm just saying it's been quite a difficult year for us all. And we've loved and we've lost, and we've laughed and we've cried, and we've counted the cost. Now it's time to decide if we praise this time and place and gaze in awe. This could be quite a different year, and not such a difficult year. I'm praying for quite a happy new year for us all. Let's have quite a happy new year for us all.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Shalom
you.
from London. Thank you so much for listening and all that.
Thank you,
Sharon.
Daniel. Daniel Kaner coming to us tonight live from London, where I can imagine it's a little late, a little early in the morning, actually, on your side, probably keeping the neighbors up. But we thank you so much for being part of this show, and also for being part of the Seasons Project. That is a A great song that you've included, and an important song as well. Well, you're listening to the Greenwich Village Folk Festival, our Salute to the Seasons project, an 80 song compilation that has been put together by Christine Lavin, who unfortunately is under the weather tonight and can't be here. She's got laryngitis, and we hope she recovers soon. Everybody, we're sending her some chicken soup and tea. She'll be fine in no time. But what's one of the great things that she's done with this project is not only bring together some of the voices that we've all come to love in our folk community since the first albums came out, but she's also introduced us to a number of new people over the years. And I was excited when I first got the advanced copy of the album to hear some of these voices. And our next performer is someone who I really didn't know before. So we're going to go from London, England now to St. Louis, Missouri for our next artist. And she has a song that appears in the new spring compilation of the Seasons Project. Jane has been playing guitar since she was 11, singing harmonies with her 8 sisters and brothers, and music and art were staples, whether it was at her home in St. Louis or family cabin in northern Minnesota. And although Jane didn't realize it at the time, traditions like family sing-alongs and music jams with her siblings were the foundation on which her songwriting imagination was built. As you're about to hear, she's a great storyteller and often uses personal family history and events as a path to open her soul and create songs that deal with the human condition. Longtime folk radio host John Weingart of Music You Can't Hear on the Radio brought one of her songs to Christine's attention. He thought that Christine would like the song called Breakfast, and boy, was he right. We are so pleased to welcome to the Greenwich Village Folk Festival, Jane Godfrey.
Thank you so much, Ron. That was a lovely introduction. Well, yeah, I'm so grateful to John Weingarten for sending that to Christine, and so grateful to be on this compilation. I'm in the spring category. This song does not relate to spring specifically, but in the spring of 1963, my husband's father gave him an experience that he will never forget. And I tried to get my husband to write this story down because I thought it was so fantastic, to no avail. So I eventually put it in a story song. And that's what Breakfast is. Oh, and I'm writing this from the point of view of my husband when he was 8 years old. My old man was a general in the Army National Guard. He carried the weight of the war on his shoulders, along with his gold stars. He was rough and unfiltered, smoker, a drinker. Being his kid could be rough. It was my old man's job to turn boys into men. Mine was to learn to be tough. He believed in discipline, in family, in country, in God. There was no chance of him spoiling the child, 'cause he didn't spare the rod. Once in a while, he'd pull off a surprise where fun would outrank the rules. Most of the time he was character building, and I was stuck handing him tools. Once the National Guard had a conference in town at the Chase Park Plaza Hotel. It was there in the lobby he saw 3 celebrities and thought to himself, what the hell? Maybe it was the uniform, or maybe they just had kind hearts. Somehow he convinced them to meet the next morning at 0900 sharp. So the next day he woke me up early and handed me my Sunday clothes. Where he was taking me, he wouldn't say, but he smiled all the while that he drove. At the restaurant, I guessed I'd be meeting his buddies. The table was set up for 5. I was shocked and confused when 1 and then 2 and then all 3 stooges arrived. Hello, hello. I had breakfast with the Stooges, Larry, Moe, and Curly Joe. It was a young kid's dream come true. There was so much I didn't understand, but that day my wish was his command. What a great day for me and my old man. Breakfast with the Stooges. Out they'd come to town for a benefit circus and a Channel 11 kids show. Now they're teaching me tricks and pretending to fight. Man, it looks so real, you'd never know. Mo said, promise you won't poke your friends in the eyes or use a wrench as a nose twister. My fingers were crossed as I solemnly swore not to try anything on my sisters. Back at home, I told whoever would listen, hey, guess who had waffles with me? And I sure wish my dad had remembered the camera, but when I closed my eyes, I could see. Then everything went right back to normal. Rules and the tools and the rest. But I had a memory pinned to my heart like the medals on the old man's chest. Over the years we fought our battles as fathers and sons tend to do. Ruled heavy-handed, but I like to remember that he had his soft side too. There I am in the family room, eating my Cheerios, watching those 3 on TV. The old man is stretched out in his lazy boy, laughing along with me. Hello, hello, I had breakfast with the Stooges, Larry, Moe, and Curly Joe. It was a young kid's dream come true. There was so much I didn't understand, but that day my wish was his command. What a great day for me and my old man. Breakfast with the Stooges. He was gruff and unfiltered and did himself in with his 2-pack-a-day cigarettes. But he had his ways to show me he cared, and that helps when it comes to regrets.
Wow. Great song.
Pretty cool adventure for him. All right, I'm gonna move on to we're doing 3 songs now, so I'm just throwing this one on. It's an older one, but I was fooling around with it and forgot how much I liked it, so I'll do that tonight for you. It's about it's a modern relationship problem. We'll say that. I'm sitting here wondering how to let you down easy, counting the minutes until this first date is through. You talking so much with your mouth full, you're making me queasy. Clearly the person you most admire is you. Now this may sound shallow, it's just an observation. Honey, since you sent me your photo, you did some aging. I liked you better online. When we were courting in cyberspace, I liked you better online. With your cute sideways smiley face. Well, I've been tangled in your web of fiber optics. Here in reality, you're quite obnoxious. Email me, that'll be fine. 'Cause I liked you better online. Remember back in that chat room, we had a high-speed connection. It was laptop to laptop. Before long we were attaching. Now you tell me you live with your mother and your Star Trek collection. Suddenly I think I hear personalities clashing. I should have known better. I've got a Mac. You love your PC. But you revved my search engine when you Googled me. I liked you better online. When we were courting in cyberspace, I liked you better online. With your cute sideways smiley face. Well, I've been tangled in your web of fiber optics. Here in reality, you're quite obnoxious. Email me, that'll be fine. 'Cause I liked you better online. Just when I'm thinking things couldn't get much worse. Of all the nerve, I can't believe you say it first. I liked you better online. Hey, when we were courting in cyberspace, I liked you better online. Hey, that was my line. With your cute sideways smiley face. Well, I've been tangled in your web of fiber optics. Here in reality, you're quite obnoxious. Email me, that'll be fine. 'Cause I liked you better online. Oh, life would be sweet if we could just hit delete. I liked you better online. That was fun.
Okay.
I actually co-wrote that with a guy named Angelo Melendez, and we did meet online, not in the way you would think, but we belonged to songu.com, and we were matched to write a song together. Anyway, somehow that came out of it. All right, do I have time for another one still, Ron? I got a 2-minute song.
Yep, you're good. Keep going.
Okay. I'll do this little quick one. This is, let's see, from the point of view of somebody saying goodbye to their romantic partner, and they don't know how long the separation is going to be. It is sentimental and frantic. And in the same key. You got your ticket and your carry-on. If you have to go, no, you take my heart along. I am hoping we both will be strong. I will wait for you. I'll miss the way your eyes light up and laugh. It just won't be the same. Framed inside a photograph, I am crying, but these tears shall pass. I will wait for you. I wish you could stay with me, but we'll be okay, I know. If you come back soon to me, I can't let you go. When we are old, we'll play Remember When. We'll look back and say, sure was worth it in the end. I am claiming we'll be great again. I will wait for you. I wish you could stay with me, but we'll be okay, I know. If you come back soon to me, I can't let you go. Oh, don't you know I will wait for you. I will wait for you.
Woo!
All
Yeah.
right. Thanks so much for having me. This was really fun. And I meant to say it at the beginning, Daniel Kaner, if you're still on, I know it's late there. I love your stuff. I also happen to know you did tell Greta, because anybody that hears the recording of it, you have Greta's voice at the end of it. It's so cool.
Thank you so much, Jane, and thanks for bringing that up too. For it, all these songs on this collection are great, and I was so happy to hear you there, because this is the first time I had a chance to hear you, and you've got some great songs. And well, I hope you'll be back again soon on the Greenwich Village Folk Festival.
Thank you.
Well, I'm Ron Olesko. I'm your MC tonight here on the Greenwich Village Folk Festival. We're also streaming this on folkmusicnotebook.com, the 24/7 internet channel that I operate. And as I look at the folks that are listening on Folk Music Notebook, and the folks that are watching on both YouTube and Facebook, I mean, we have a really global audience here. And it is so nice that everybody gets together to listen in or watch the stream on the first Sunday of every month. And again, this is a free event. It's a gift to the community. The Greenwich Village Folk Festival is a 501c3 organization, and we could always use your help. We do have a tip jar, and you'll see information. It should be at the bottom of the screen on either YouTube or Facebook, or simply go to greenwichvillagefolkfestival.org, and you will see the information on how you can donate and help keep this going. We want to continue being here on the first Sunday of every month, as we've been doing since the pandemic back in 2020. I think sometime this year we'll hit our 50th episode of the Greenwich Village Folk Festival. And it's really been a who's who of the artists that have been part of our folk music community. And speaking of that, tonight we're saluting the Seasons Project, the wonderful four compilation collection that has been boxed together as a Seasons Project. It was produced by Christine Lavin. She began doing this back in, was it 1989, when the first winter collection came out. And now we have the spring and summer collection added to it. It's been available in this 80-song box set, which unfortunately is currently sold out. It was a very limited edition. It was sold out very quickly. Who knows what the future will bring? You know, we're always looking for ideas, so you can write to Christine, and who knows? Maybe there'll be a digital release of this one of these days. Hopefully very soon, because I know a lot of people are itching to get their hands on it too, because it is just some incredible songs. And it's also, as I said, it's been kind of a who's who of the folk world as well, especially those early albums. We were introduced to so many new artists in those early days, and unfortunately, some of them are no longer with us. People like Bill Morrissey, Frank Christian, Dave Van Ronk, and on our new collection in the spring and summer, Les Barker was part of this. Les is in the spring and the summer collection, and he retired from the road last October. And unfortunately, he died in a parking lot last January, where he was just finished watching his favorite football team, who won. So he died happy, from what his friends say. And it was a week from this coming Sunday, January the 14th, that he passed away. And I understand in his native Wales, there's going to be a memorial walk for Les, and we'll keep his memory going. You can find his work online, spoken word pieces like Guide Cats for the Blind and Cosmo, the fairly accurate knife thrower. And I know from talking to Christine, he was so excited about the Seasons project and being part of it. So we're thinking of Les tonight. Well, our next performer is from Warwick, New York, and she has a song in the summer compilation of the Seasons project. And, any seasoned person who has decided to pursue a career in the arts at an age when others are looking to retire knows how difficult it can be. She released her very first album 1 year ago, While I'm Here. She's the winner of the 2023 Focus Music Heyman Rising Artist Award. Focus Music created this award to recognize and support up-and-coming artists in the folk community. And she is someone that you're going to be hearing a lot more from. Please welcome Tina Ross.
Thank you. Oh, that was a great introduction. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. And Christine's not here. And Christine, we are carrying the torch for you. We are so grateful that you have brought us all together and you've put out this incredible compilation. It will be with us forever. Thank you so much. So this is my my contribution to the summer collection. It's a recollection of a summer love from the perspective of my senses. Summer opens your heart to me. July feels like a century. Heat bakes, love awakes, and I hold on to you. Fireflies sail above the pond. Peepers sing as lights flash beyond. Life stirs, edges blur, and I hold on to you, and you hold me. And in the heat of this August night, tempered by a breeze, summer senses etch into my mind. So I'll remember summers like these. Somehow older now, a whole lot wiser, suspended here as if time was a miser. Time creeps, flowers weep. Can't I just stay here with you? But Labor Day brings with it an end. Sweet lessons stay, our love we will end. Autumn won't wait, our hearts break. I can't hold on to you. Oh, I want to stay here with you. And in the heat of this August night, tempered by a breeze, summer senses etching to my mind. the gentle, clumsy embraces in the heat of this August night, tempered by a breeze, summer senses etching to my mind. So I'll remember summers, like So that is my, sometimes when I want to remember something, I decide that I'm going to kind of ground myself in my senses. And that way it'll be a deeper memory. And I remember thinking that at that time. So the next song I'd like to do is a song that came out of also a memory. And it's very important, the things that we say to children. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me now. I try to swallow the tears as they burn their way down. The blur of voices and cutting words, a closed bedroom door dampened the judgment I heard. Maybe it should bother me, but it doesn't bother me now. What you said to me, what you said to me then was a boomerang thrown over and over again. Maybe it should bother me, but it doesn't bother me now. Time and time I try to let this go, as bitterness melted on my tongue. My lips parted to forgive, but the words awaited my permission. What I didn't know then, but what I know in time, your pain would glance off me, and I would look you in the eye. With enough distance, I'd see your struggle, and your influence would lose all its muscle. It used to bother me, but it doesn't bother me now. Distance in the years we've been through. Last night I dreamt I carried a young me away from you. So maybe it still bothers me a little now. Maybe that part bothers me. A little bit. what we say to children is pretty important. Okay, so I'm going to end off my set, round off with a Season of Love kind of song. And there is some love that traverses time. And if there are such a thing as soulmates, two halves of the same soul that traverse time endlessly, looking for each other and hoping that this lifetime, perhaps, they'll find each other. I've searched for you since long ago. You are there somewhere, I know. What if I brushed by you as I rushed home? Do you look for me too? Are you alone? And if by chance time misfires and you're not here when I arrive, I'll hold you close in my dreams until another spring unseen when we meet. Time flies with open wings, then makes its descent, and we awaken to the promise that love comes round again and again. And when we greet the same lit sky, from cycles to come or those passed by, I'll know these wheels can move so slow, but I won't worry. I feel your soul. Time flies with open wings, then makes its descent, and we awaken to the promise that love comes round, love comes round again and again. Oh, we will dance once more and sink like swirls of leaves the trees once dropped. Still I ache for you in this early morning. This ache is all I've got. Only tomorrow knows for sure if our fire will burn once more. So let's always remember we rise and fall anew to stoke the embers. Time flies with open wings, then Thank you so much for having me.
Beautiful. That was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Tina Ross. Oh, that was just fantastic. And by the way, for those of you out there, Tina does a wonderful online series called Inside the Song, where she has a different guest. They It's sort of a hybrid concert and interview show. And she's got one coming up this Thursday with Ancha Duvakot. It'll be
It's actually, yes, it's this Thursday, yes.
this Thursday. Yep, January 11th, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. It'll be online, and you can check out Tina's website, tinarossmusic.com, for more information about that and other great shows she's doing. Well, you're listening to the Greenwich Village Folk Festival, our look at the Seasons Project, a wonderful compilation project that, well, it started back in 1995 and was finished this year by producer Christine Lavin, who had gathered together 80 songs, 63 different songwriters, and it is just an exquisite project. I'm part of it. I did get to write the introduction to it, but this is really, I'm tongue tied for words here. It is just so beautiful, and so many artists that have become part of our folk community, so many new artists that we're introduced to. And I hope that there will be a way to get these songs out there, because the project is sold out already. But there'll be more to come in the future, I'm sure. And by the way, we mentioned at the top, Christine is unfortunately not able to be with us tonight. She is under the weather. She has a terrible case of laryngitis and couldn't join us. And the same thing with Kyle Hancharik and Kat Goldman. They're both under the weather and couldn't be here tonight. So we wish them a quick and speedy recovery, and we'll hope to see them on a future edition of the Greenwich Village Folk Festival. And since we were 3 artists short, we had to do some scrambling today. And luckily, we have a pinch hitter who is always at the ready for us. He is one of our sound people, and he is another gentleman who has been such a part of the fabric of this folk community since he burst on the scene in the Boston music scene back in, what was it, the 80s or 90s? Or, well, no, it was probably yesterday. You're not that old, Greg. But he is just a brilliant artist, and I'm so happy he was able to fill in for us tonight. Let's give a warm welcome to the one and only Greg Greenway.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, I was minding my own business, and this is fantastic. What would I be doing anyway? So I would be sitting right here, but now I get to sing. And the idea that something to do with Christine Lavin. Christine, you are a gift to the world, and we all love you and hope you feel better. You've been so good to so many people, and me particular, so thank you. So the seasons. Let's start with summer. The days are growing longer, there's a warm breeze coming on. Something inside seems to come alive, singing a summer song. Oh, La Maria, show me that soft, smooth skin. It's a mystical ride on a warm, gusty night. I hardly know where to begin. Oh, la, 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 la. The sun is growing stronger. We've got every reason to smile. The child in me feels so frisky and free. I hope he can stay for a while. Oh, oh, la, 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 la. It's been so long since I've seen a day like today. It's been so long. You throw these clothes so far away. I had a friend like the winter, with a clear winter day in her eyes. Seasons are bound to be seasons, you can only wave them goodbye. La la la, la 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 la, la 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 la, wave them goodbye. Oh no no no, oh, oh, oh. Summer is one day off, winter is one day gone. Oh, 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 oh. Sing a summer song. Summer is one day off, winter is one day gone. Oh, 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 oh. Sing a summer song. La 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 la.
Woo!
Yeah.
Good work.
You know, when you live in first time ever in Boston, you know, when you go through a Boston winter, and then suddenly it becomes warm again, and you can actually trust leaving your apartment. It's a little joyous, and that's what I wanted to catch there. So this next song covers all the seasons. I think children are a gift in so many ways, but one of the gifts they give us is that as we watch them go through an experience, we re-experience things that we remembered experiencing as a child, things we might have forgotten as an adult, you know. Who wouldn't love willow in the springtime, weightless as a kitten in the sunshine, so unaffected, lightly connected to this world. Who wouldn't love willow in the summertime, toes in the warm mud of June, like buds of red rose, she already knows when to bloom. Wouldn't love willow when the autumn sun tilts to her first long goodbye. Things come, things go, that's all we know. Things come, things go, that's all we know in this life. Thank you. Okay. And now we come to my favorite season of all, which is fall. And it just seems like it's my new year. But when the pandemic kind of stranded us all, and the fall would come, and I wouldn't go out into the world like I would normally do, like all of us musicians do, fall seems to kick off our touring schedule again. And, you couldn't do it. And so finally, when we were set free and I could go out and find people to sing for, I wrote this song, which is, it's a restatement of a line I wrote a long, long time ago. So much has to happen between hello and goodbye. So for those that we lost touch with during the pandemic, it's so good to come back out and see your faces and say hello. I waded into the shadows of a warm September day. The sun slanted down on this little town like a friend from far away. Once I would not have been caught dead in a place like this. Now I'm glad to be found here alive. It's hard to explain it. I fought it, I became it. Now I'm late, but I finally arrived. So hello, hello, hello. So good to see your smile. I would not have made it all of this way without these good friends of mine. So hello, hello, hello. Been such a long, long time. Your faces are the moon and the stars of my September sky. I cannot walk in a straight line without going in circles, my friend. All around me, everything is moving beyond my approving, past where the sidewalk ends. Now it's more than a children's story. It's less than a hero's tale. It's just what you see here. It's just you and me here, filling in the details. So hello, hello, hello. So good to see your smile. I would not have made it all of this way without these good friends of mine. So hello, hello, hello. Been such a long, long time. Your faces are the moon and the stars of my September sky. Come September, sleep so deep, yellow lines on the freeway invade my dreams. something warm and familiar. When the shadows grow deep and long, like a stone thrown in a pool of memories, and the ripples go on and on. Now there's three verses in this song, my friend. I'm gonna do that again. There are only three verses in this song, my friend. You're born, you live, and you die. So much has to happen between hello and goodbye. So much has to happen between hello and goodbye. So hello, hello, hello. So good to see your smile. I would not have made it all of this way without these good friends of mine. So hello, hello, hello. Been such a long, long time. Your faces are the moon and the stars of my September sky. Your faces are the moon and the stars of my September sky. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for giving me a chance.
Thank you, Greg. Greg Greenway, hitting again, coming through. So good to see your smile and to hear your voice and to share the seasons with us on this Greenwich Village Folk Festival. Salute to the Seasons Project and Christine Lavin, who unfortunately isn't here tonight because she's under the weather, and we miss her and we love her, and we thank her for all she's done for not only for this compilation, but for the folk community for so many decades. She's just a national treasure. And all you folks are national treasures too. You're supporting the Greenwich Village Folk Festival. Thanks to everybody who's put a tip in our tip jar. We appreciate it. Again, if you haven't done so, you can go to our website, greenwichvillagefolkfestival.org. You'll see information on how you can donate or mail a check to us, or just look in on the Facebook or YouTube pages if you're watching live. I'm sure there's some links there as well. This project started in 1989 when Christine came up with the idea for doing On a Winter's Night, the very first collection, which came out in 1990. And it also was the start of a tour called On a Winter's Night. It took place with Christine and a couple of other artists, and it continues. Christine is not touring, but tonight in Anchorage, Alaska, at the Discovery Theater, there is the first. Well, actually, that's the first tour, but it's one of the tour stops for On a Winter's Night, featuring Cliff Eberhardt, Patty Larkin, Lucy Kaplansky, and John Gorka. They're going to be on tour the whole month of January and February, and there will even be a gig at the City Winery here in New York City on February 11th. On a Winter's Night, the tour continues. Speaking of a winter's night, it is a winter's night here, and I'm not sure where you are. It might be a little chilly. If you have the Winter's Night collection, one of the original ones, there is a lovely recipe for a hot apple cider, which just might be the thing. And we probably should have passed it around. We wouldn't have had so many artists under the weather tonight. Anyway, let's continue on because I am very excited about our next performers. They actually have two songs on the Seasons Project, one for the spring compilation and the other in the summer compilation. And I fell in love with their gorgeous harmonies when I first heard this trio years ago. Margot Hennebach, Adrienne Jones, and Mark Saunders. Now, they had a little hiatus for a couple of years, but they're back. And next month, they're releasing an album that's going to be called Likely Story, an eclectic collection of songs for the soul. And I had a sneak preview, and it is brilliant. It's always a delight to be in their presence, even virtually. From Connecticut, here they are, Matt Agnes.
Hi. Thank you, Ron.
Wow.
We're so glad to be here.
It's a pleasure. And
We're so fortunate to be one of the ones that has one of these now that they're sold out. So
Yeah.
I hope, Christine, you do something about that. There's probably other people that would like them too, but we
Yeah.
treasure ours. Thank you.
Yeah.
And we hope you feel much better, Christine. Too bad you can't be here tonight with us.
Yeah. The first song we're going to do is about going over the sea to a place that's so beautiful you just can't believe you're a part of it. And you play lots of little village halls and one giant festival, and in between all those things, you just run around the gorgeous landscape. And this was us, and it's called Running in England. Couldn't believe our eyes, gobsmacking beauty without compromise, with brand new rules of the road. We ran and we ran and we ran and we ran, oh, running in England, waving to sheep that creek in a meadow by the old stone walls. Never seen anything like this till now. I've got to be a part of the landscape somehow. Don't fail me now. I'm running around in a little Yorkshire town. Upon a spell, woke up in the J&B Hotel where the days are never long enough. This Yankee heart is falling in love. Coffee in hand, the last Harry Potter on the bedside stand, but the world outside is stunning. Oh, put the book down and hit the ground running, running in England, waving to sheep that bleat in a meadow by the old stone walls. Never seen anything like this till now. I've got to be a part of the landscape somehow. Please don't fail me now. I'm running around in a little Yorkshire town. Oh, 17th century stone cradled me in the rock and the bone. Oh, what would you pay to be me today? We're watching the BBC, bad sci-fi and good company. William and Felicia, M and me. When you gonna get your house back, JC? Took the York-bound train. We all bought wellies, so it never rained on the brand new village band. Next week we play for 25,000, running in England, waving to sheep and wheat in a meadow by the old stone walls. Never seen anything like this till now. I've got to be a part of the landscape somehow. Please don't fail me now. I'm running around in a little Yorkshire. Please don't fail me now. Please don't fail me now. Going for distance in a little Yorkshire town. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey.
So,
Yes.
yes. So we're going to do a couple songs from our new release. I already dropped that in.
By the way, that was an original boot that we did buy
Yes.
in England. That
it
was
was
one
a
of them.
welly.
It was yours.
It was mine.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was why it was a little hard for me to handle.
I
a little
understand.
big for
Yes,
my
yes.
tiny hands.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So we're going to do a couple songs from our new album, and this is called Broken, and it comes from every musician's nightmare. I broke my hand. I broke my wrist, and I now have like 10 pins and a plate. And but I tell you, it was hell in the hallway. And Mark took care of me, and I realized that this was kind of putting a burden on him, putting a burden on our relationship. And the first weekend that I felt like I could get away, I just wanted to leave. I got away just to give you a little peace, so you didn't have to keep taking care of me. And I came back, and like a cat, I bring in a mouse home. I brought this song back to him. Aww. So, yeah. Are we broken? I don't think we're broken, but I had to ask the question. Are you happy? I want to think you're happy, but maybe I don't know, 'cause everything changes. Everybody knows that. Now I am just longing for that time we played that song on our guitars under a canopy of stars. Am I broken? I know my hand was broken, but I wonder if that's all. Am I happy? I know I should be happy, but sometimes I don't know, 'cause everything changes, nothing stays the same. And every time I breathe, I have a different kind of feeling, and I don't know what is true for me or for you. Are we broken? Sometimes when it's hard to see, it helps when you sit next to me. So are we broken? I'm pretty sure we're broken, but I think that that's okay, because what's broken can heal a little stronger. At least that's what I know. And everything changes, including you and me. So let's get it together and do something to remember that we haven't lost our way. Now that's a perfect day. Let's have a perfect day. Perfect day. Today's the perfect day to have a perfect day.
Woohoo! Perfect.
Thank you all.
So that was the season of being broken. You wrote the song about the season of us being in England, which was so great. Yeah. This is about the season of being in Ireland, and Mark and I took a wonderful pilgrimage of the Holy Wells in Western Ireland, and once we got to the Moman Pass, this was the first one that was actually, you had to climb a hill to get there. So it wasn't at sea level in the way that most of the holy wells were. And it took me longer to get there than everyone else because I was writing this.
It did.
Yeah.
Looking down the hill for you.
Yeah.
And then I saw you with your little notepad, and I knew good things were happening.
Use me as an instrument for thine own good. Fill my lungs with air the way a bellows would. I am just a pilgrim who is on her way, thankful for the path that I can walk today. Holy well, oh holy well, looking for a space where I can safely dwell. Holy well, only time will tell if I'll climb the hill and find the holy well. The hill is filled with obstacles that hold me back. Streams that seem too hard to cross remind me that this is not a race to see who comes in first. When I think like that, I'll never quench my thirst. Holy well, oh holy well, there's enough for all at the holy well. Holy well, only time will tell if I'll climb the hill and find the holy well. Wells can spring up anywhere, underground or in the air. Listen to your feet, they will take you there. I can feel the yielding earth with every step, here in communion with the body depth. And you fellow pilgrims I meet on the way, blessings on you as you find what holds you sway. Holy well, oh holy well, there's enough for all at the holy well. Holy well has this to tell, every hill you meet can surely serve you well. Holy well, oh holy well, walking slowly 3 times round the holy well. Holy well has it to tell, whatever path you're on, I surely wish you well.
Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you.
It's such a great pleasure to be a part of this great community.
And Christine, we hope you're feeling better.
Please,
too.
please do.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Matt Agnes. That is Margot Hennebach, Adrienne Jones, and Mark Saunders. And the new album that's coming out in February, it's called Likely Story, an eclectic collection of songs for the soul. And you're going to love it. I can't wait to hear it. Well, I did hear it already, but I can't wait for all of you folks out there to hear it. It's going to be a good one. Guarantee it. Well, I'm Ronald Lesko. This is the Greenwich Village Folk Festival. We're coming to you live tonight as we celebrate the Seasons Project, a magnificent 80-song collection featuring 63 artists. What is it? 484 pages of lyrics and biographies and links and all kinds of great information, all produced by Christine Lavin, who unfortunately is not able to be with us tonight. She's under the weather. She's got a really bad case of laryngitis. We talked to her earlier, and she's in bed, getting better, because musicians cannot lose their voices. We need her too much. Well, we need all of you folks too, and we're glad you're enjoying this monthly festival. And we're going to be here for many more months to come. I'll tell you about our February concert a little bit later in the show. But again, thanks to everybody who's donated so far to our tip jar. GreenwichVillageFolkFestival.org is the website. We're a 501c3 nonprofit. And while this is a free concert for the community, a gift to the community, Your help is what keeps us going, and we hope to be here for many, many more months to come. Our next artist was someone I met a number of years ago, and it was after 9/11. She came on my radio show, and I swear it was one of the most moving interviews that I've ever had the pleasure of being part of. She is so inspirational. She has a song in the summer compilation of the Seasons Project. She grew up in a family of musicians, and at an early age, she was trained on classical piano, moved on to accompany her songs that she began to write on the keyboard and guitar. And after spending her teens and early 20s making music, well, life kind of drew her away from performing, but she was still writing and playing. And after 9/11, she began to shift her focus to healing herself and others. She actually worked in the Twin Towers, but by coincidence, she was off work that day, but lost nearly 300 colleagues in the terror attack. She returned to her first love of acoustic music, began writing award-winning songs in a song contest, and she drew the attention of Christine Lavin as well. Judy is also working on a new album, which we hope to see in 2024, and tonight we're honored to have her. From her home in Tarrytown, New York, here is Judy Cass.
Thank you, Ron. Wonderful introduction. I hope to see that album in 2024 as well. Oh my goodness, Christine, I hope you're feeling better. And I'm just so grateful to be a part of this project and really taking a place with some amazing artists on this. Those of you who are lucky enough to have scored one of those magic boxes and the disc, you're in for a real treat. So this song, I don't know, how many of you spent your young years, you couldn't wait to be older? You just, oh my gosh, when I'm 18, when I can vote, when I can drink, when I can do all these things, and then you get to a place in life you just want to slow it down for a bit, and I've kind of hit that myself these days, and live in the moment. The last day of her childhood, she circled round the neighborhood. Her friends had long since journeyed on, but she pedaled hard and stayed behind a little longer. The early days go quickly by, easy with the years they fly, till standing by tomorrow's door, it beckons yet she lingers a little longer. So carry me nowhere, Mr. Keeper of Time. Let me sail onward in this moment that's mine. Carry me nowhere, Mr. Keeper of Time. Let me sail onward in this moment that's mine. With one foot out and one foot in, a young adulthood life begins. She plays it hard and plays to win, and finds her wrong way in the end a little stronger. So carry me nowhere, Mr. Keeper of Time. Let me sail onward in this moment that's mine. Carry me nowhere, Mr. Keeper of Time. Let me sail onward in this moment that's mine. Now sometimes on a summer's day, she watches light and water play, and as the daylight slips away, sun comes out and begs to stay. So carry me nowhere, Mr. Keeper of Time. Let me sail onward in this moment that's mine. Just carry me nowhere, Mr. Keeper of Time. Let me sail onward in this moment that's mine. Just let me sail onward in this moment that's mine. That's mine. That's mine. Thank you. That part of the evening. So, I'm going to sandwich this new one in here. You know, I've written about a lot of things, but I'm not very good at writing love songs. I don't know. I guess I'm too much of a realist. It's hard for me to just see the sparkles. But I do find myself fascinated by how we learn to navigate relationships over the course of years. And I'm about to have my 40th wedding anniversary in May. And yikes, when the institution was devised, I don't think people were living that long. But you learn to figure it out, huh? You look for what's not perfect in every answer. I come undone when we derail. We misstep off into hopeless romancers, looking for the Holy Grail. The turbulent water smooths away the jagged edges, easing trouble by design. We patch the ripped and ragged seams, mend the holes of torn up dreams, dressing up our old love to the nines. We long ago abandoned hope to change the other. We know full well who we are. We give space, careful not to smother, careful not to push too far. And turbulent water smooths away the jagged edges, easing trouble by design. We trade our riches for gold rags, carried out in paper bags, dressing up our old love to the nines. Who knew we'd last this long? Begging love to keep its head above the storm. Laughter flows back in sooner than it used to. Eyes roll at the same old corny lines. You reach for my hand, moments when I need you to pull us through a stitch in time. And turbulent water tumbles smooth the jagged edges, easing trouble by design. We weave a fabric all our own, pummeled smooth between two stones, dressing up our old love to the nines. Dressing up our old love to the nines. Love song? Oh, I want to thank Ron and thank Ray and thank Rod and Christine and everyone involved. And oh my goodness, John and Greg. I don't know what we do without you folks. So I'm going to end with a song. It's January, and January brings to mind the Women's March. And that's kind of how I got connected with Christine. I wrote this song with Dan Bergren following the Women's March in 2017. How many of you might have been there? Or somewhere in one of those. And it was sent to Christine, and she had the idea to make a video of it. So if you go onto my website, you'll see that. And if you look late in the video, you will see a frame of my then 94-year-old grandmother. She just recently passed at the tender age of almost 101, but she was at the Philadelphia one, holding up a sign that said, "Now you pissed off Grandma." I throw this out to her and all the women marching, because I think we're going to be continuing to do that for a while. The conversation takes an upward turn at the local diner table, and it used to be easy to avoid an angry word. Now I'm no longer able. I missed the protests of the civil rights years, signing occasional petitions, but complacency ended when action soon revealed the truth of the lesson. I never did much marching, wasn't much for marching. Look at me marching now. My neighbor hasn't stopped to chat in a while. Her smile grows tighter as she greets me, and my kid says his friend is scared to go to school, afraid they'll come for the family, because the stakes are at an all-time high, and the situation's dire. We can no longer wait to take our place at their side. Late arriving soldier, we never did much marching, not much marching. Look at us marching now. We never did much marching, not much marching. Look at us marching now. Good soldiers come together, heeding the call, side by side, sister and brother, and just left, right, right, left, each and all, putting one foot before the other. We never did much marching, not much marching. Look at us marching now. We never did much marching, not much marching, but look at us marching now. Ooh, look at us marching. Ooh. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. What a powerful song, and a song that I think we all need to hear, especially during these troubled times we're in. Wow. And we look forward to that new album. Can't wait to hear it. Got to have you back on the radio show too.
Thanks. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Thanks so much, Ron. Thank
Judy
you.
Cass. Well, you're listening to the Greenwich Village Folk Festival. We're coming to you live tonight. And again, thanks to everybody who's been donating and keeping this going. I love during the event, I watch on Facebook and YouTube and see so many comments and people who are tuning in from all over, as well as listening on the audio on folkmusicnotebook.com. It's such a community we have here. And it's great that we continue this because of help from people like you, and also from people like our next performer. Back when the first winter collection came out, he actually had one of the songs on one of the releases of the winter collection. He was also at the time one of the mainstay performers on the Greenwich Village folk scene, as well as being a co-founder of the original Greenwich Village Folk Festival, which was held in person in the village from 1987 to 1994. And now he is a co-producer of this mostly virtual festival. His songs have been covered by numerous artists over the years, including Dave Van Ronk, Sean Colvin, and Jonathan Edwards, and so many others. And last year, he released his 14th solo album, the stunning Rancid Romances, which shows that Rod has remained one of the finest songwriters of not only his, but many other generations. He has a song on the album, on the original album, and tonight he is with us from Delray Beach, Florida, which I suspect is just a tad warmer than today's weather in Greenwich Village. Please welcome Rod MacDonald.
Yeah, just a tad warmer, Ron. Yes, Ron, you are the best. I've been listening to the entire concert. I got to say, all your introductions of people are so wonderful, and I thank you for the kind things you say about me.
Thank you.
It's so good to have you here doing the festivals with us, and I wish that we were in front of a live audience so I could say, how about giving it up for our great MC, Ron Alesko. So you folks at home, give it up for our great MC, and
thank you, Rod.
We'll have to hear you virtually. Well, let me play a song, and then we'll here's one for anybody who's nostalgic for a would-be national holiday from this weekend. Hey, if I were you, I'd lay those weapons down. Go home to your pastor, your minister, your priest, your wife, your kids, your dealer, your television, or at least seek forgiveness for the harm you've done. Hey, what did you think was going to happen? And if you don't watch out, your fantasies will come true. You'll find yourself and your friends in a shootout with people all dressed in blue. Is that really why you came? To give patriots a bad name? You shot the hell up, said the man in the center. What are you, some kind of wise ass? No, just a concerned citizen. They all stood there in silence. In the distance they heard sirens. Weapons down. Go home now to your pastor, your minister, your priest, your wife, your kids, your dealer, your mistress, or at least seek forgiveness for the harm you've done. And don't forget how you came to give patriots a bad name. Hey, don't forget how you came to give patriots a bad name.
Rod.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, let me do my song from the Seasons collection. You know, I'm sitting here staring at Robin Batau. You folks can't see him at home, but Robin, one of the really best parts of my CD, Rants and Romance, actually, is Robin playing the violin on several tracks, including that one. And he's going to be on right after this, so you'll get to hear him do his own songs. But he's also, of course, a fantastic violinist. So, hey, Robin, good to see you out there. Sorry, we can't figure out a way to do this live together. Wouldn't that be fun? You know, this song has quite a history. Not to blow my own horn, but I think it's in this context because it's on the Seasons project and was on When October Goes. It's kind of worth saying a little bit of it. I wrote this song for just before the very first meeting of the Songwriters Exchange at Cornelia Street back in, I think, December of 1977 or so. It's that old a song. And I went to the meeting, and there were a few of us there. I don't know, it was a new thing. And Robin Hirsch from the Cornelia Street Cafe was a very artistically sophisticated, is a very sophisticated person about the arts, and he would shut everything off in the entire room when the music started, including the coolers, the refrigerators, and he would sit down in the crowd of 10 of us songwriters together, and he would refuse to wait on anybody, and then we'd go around and maybe 3, 4, 5 people would play songs, and then he'd say, okay, let's take a break, and he'd stand up and he'd go behind the counter and give everybody that wanted one a coffee or a drink, and then he'd shut everything off all over again and sit back down. And so we went all around. Everybody had a new song. Jack, Tom and Tondi, Dave Massengill, I forget who some of the other people were there, Nancy Lee Baxter, I think, and a couple other people. And at the end of the night, Robin said, well, we got time for another song. And I said, well, I got another song, you know, and I played this song. It was the first time I ever played it in front of anybody. And after he turned the lights back on, he walked over to me and he said, we're going to make an album of this stuff someday, and that song's going to be on it. And he made good on it about a year later, and the Cornelia Street album came out. And then it came out, and you know, it got good reviews, and a few people bought it. And then a few years later, like about 10 years later, I was on tour in Italy playing a 300-seat theater in this little town in the middle of nowhere, way over by the Yugoslav border. And before the show, I was standing in a cafe having a coffee, and this woman walks up to me and she says, could you play The Coming of the Snow tonight? And I said, sure, but can I ask you a question? How do you know that song, you know? And she said, I bought the album in the next town. And I thought, oh, that's where they sold those albums, you know, because as far as I could tell, they didn't sell any of them very much in America at the time. So we did the concert, and I had learned how to say qualche richiesta in Italian, which is a loose approximation of any requests. And I completely forgot to play the song and was late in the concert when I said that, and this woman said, are you going to play my request? You know, and then I remembered, oh yeah. And I played it, and they recorded it live, and that live recording ended up on my first Shanachie album. And that's the track that is on Seasons, is that live recording without the audience. When you decide to return again to the land that raised you. You find yourself traveling back to your New England home. And you're passing through, you run into somebody I used to know. Tell her I've been thinking about her in the coming of the snow. If you're standing on the pier by the empty harbor, and the fishing boats are lying quiet until the spring, and you need a fire to sit beside while the winter weaves out its cloak. Tell her I've been thinking about her in the coming of the snow. And if you awaken with her long hair spread across your shoulder, and the day outside is as dark as her eyes, take care to hold her close into the morning, and she will be true to you if you love her more than I. If you're traveling in the woods, I used to walk alone, and you find her out there standing in the falling leaves, and a chill should pass through the arms that cradle her longing. You know that you can take her hand one more time for me. When you decide to return again to the land that raised you, you find yourself traveling back to your New England home, and you're passing through, you run into somebody I used to know. Tell her I've been thinking about her in the coming of the snow. Tell her I've been thinking about her in the coming of the snow.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, I'm grateful that I'm that I don't have the flu like lots of other people who couldn't make it tonight. I'm a little, I don't know what the word is, voice weary after a long show that I did just this morning. I also have a couple things coming up that are kind of fun to mention. I teach in the lifelong learning program at Florida Atlantic University, and I do lectures on mostly famous people. Every once in a while I get to introduce somebody new to my students. There's no academic credit involved. Everybody's way beyond graduating. But I have a new course starting in 2 days at the Jupiter campus and a week from Wednesday at the Boca Raton campus. And I'm covering music from Irving Berlin to Aaron Copland to the Kronos Quartet to South Pacific,
Awesome.
Harry Belafonte, Gordon Lightfoot, Elton John, Taylor Swift, And a month from now, in fact, a month from today, on February 7 and 8, my band, Rod and the Humdingers, are doing 2 concerts called A Brief History of the Beatles, in which I'm going to be singing about 20 Beatles songs in honor of the anniversary, February 9, of their 60th anniversary of coming to the United States. Should be fun. It's kind of like a bit of a fantasy, to get to sing all these other songs. And now I'm going to do one of my own tunes from Branson Romance, but I mention this because anybody who'd like to know about it, you don't have to actually live in Florida to catch any of these events. They're recorded and then streamed. So if you go to my website, rodmacdonald.com, and go to the events page, you can see where those things are, and check out if you'd be interested in signing up for any of them. Well, I also want to wish Christine Lavin a happy birthday, and just say how incredible it is that she's done all this amazing organizing behind the scenes for people. We all think it's incredible. Christine thinks it's like a normal day for her, but the first time I played this song in one of our shows, she immediately called me up and asked me to send her a copy of it, and then she posted it online on her own site. So happy birthday, Christine. Here you go. In the next generation to come down the line, I believe it was a year 2039, they asked, hey mom, what was the pandemic? I've been hearing about it in school, and I bet it was something you'd never want to do again. Mom sat down, shook her head, and said with a grin, oh, the pandemic, wasn't that a time? Well, said Mom, I was just in my teens. Your daddy was trying to get in my jeans. We couldn't travel, so we married on Zoom. The preacher in Maine, our parents back home. Streamed the first kiss, had colored balloons. Made our own cake, went on our honeymoon without leaving the room. Yeah, the pandemic, wasn't that a time? Yeah, said Mom, and who could forget? The numbers kept climbing and no one protected their faces, till thousands were gasping for air, and businesses shutting down everywhere. And speaking of time, every now and then, you'd hear the news of a trusted friend you knew you'd never see again. There was no toilet paper on the shelf. You couldn't go to work, so we kept to ourselves. Took walks in the moonlight when the curfew was gone, and I've never felt closer to anyone. And there was this guy, was like a big joke, said no one's really dying, it's just a cruel hoax. But he was no friend of mine. Yeah, the pandemic, wasn't that a time? It was a quiet time to reflect, said Mom. We had 600 channels in the living room. It's amazing to me to remember today, there was never anything on anyway, except for live concerts, and with these guys I know, came on every Sunday with a different show, and somehow it eased my mind. Yeah, the pandemic, wasn't that a time? And in the midst of it all, people took to the streets when an unarmed black man killed by police was becoming too normal. And for the first time, the cops were made to pay for the crime. And speaking of crime, there were women and men who thought they'd overturn the government. Well, they ended up doing time. was coming to an end, and soon when you turned on the news, and every afternoon there was a shooting in a school or a store. So many thoughts and prayers you couldn't take anymore. It was easier to buy a gun than to vote. We had to dig deep to keep the ship afloat for the next generation to come down the line. Yeah, that's what Mama said back in 2039. Yeah, the pandemic, wasn't that a time? Yeah, the pandemic, wasn't that a time? Thanks so much, everybody. Folks at home, dig deep, everybody. A lot of work to do ahead of us.
Thank you, Rod, and thank you for that great song reminding us of the pandemic, which I know is rising again, to COVID, and a lot of people are still afraid about getting their shots, and rumors about data chips being placed in these shots. All I know is I get great Wi-Fi reception now, and I've had all my shots. So,
well, I mean, one of the things that made me want to write that song was that there were some good things that came out of the pandemic, including the Greenwich Village Folk Festival coming back. And I hope you folks at home appreciate the hard work that all these guys do behind the scenes. John and Greg and Ron here, and Ray and Andrea, and our longtime webmaster, Jerry. I'm very grateful to all of these guys, these folks.
Absolutely. And the fact that all of these festivals are now online, you can go to YouTube, and if you missed any of them, check them. And this is going to be a great archive for the future. People in 2035 want to see what the folk music community was like. They're going to look at these wonderful videos and find out. Well, as Rod was saying, we thank everybody who has donated to our tip jar. And those of you who have not yet, if you can afford it, please do so. You'll see it should be in your chat feature in YouTube and Facebook, a link where you can make your donation, or simply go to greenwichvillagefolkfestival.org and you'll find how you can donate there, or send a check if you so choose. But however you do it, it can help keep this going. The folk community really took a hit during the pandemic. Not only did we lose so many dear and loving friends, but a number of clubs are still struggling to survive. And the fact that the Greenwich Village Folk Festival is still here each month is because of wonderful people like you who have supported us and keep us going. So we thank you for that. And we hope to be here for many, many more months to come. Well, I often joke on my radio show. I do a radio show not only on folkmusicnotebook.com, but also on WFDU-FM in Teaneck, New Jersey. It's a station owned by Fairleigh Dickinson University. And I've been there since 1975. And I joke that, I'm just 3 credits away from graduating. But in all seriousness, our next performer honestly surprised the folk world when, during the pandemic, he decided to re-enroll at Harvard University, a college that he had dropped out of more than 50 years ago. And he's now in the Guinness Book of World Records as the college student who honestly took the longest to graduate. And I think it's something like, 53 years between when he dropped out and then dropped back in again. He studied ancient Greece this time around. He's also recorded violin on so many albums and continues to work with his musical partner, David Buskin. And along with John Forster and Christine Lavin, and on occasion, Julie Gold, this spring they'll be celebrating April Fool's Day with a special tour of select dates. It's always a pleasure to have him with us. A real treat. Please welcome Robin Batau.
Hey, guys. I know I took the ancient Greece thing too far, but that's why I'm here. I've had an amazing year, really. I think it's the beginning was the first annual April Fool's Buskin and Batau and Friends tour with Christine and John Forster and Julie and Shanna and Address. And then this summer I got to record got to play a whole bunch of violin on Rod's new album, which is a masterpiece, in my opinion. And one of those wonderful songs of Judy's I got to play on too. And I've always collaborated with Christine when I could, and just to be a part of this season's project. I know that a lot of people will buy the album and think, well, where the heck is Frankie Valli? But I think if they just listen to the record, they'll be happy. They'll feel good about it. This is I'm just going to wear the helmet for one song, I promise. But this is a song that one of the things that I did when I went back to school was I stumbled on these ancient Greek lyric poets. Now, the lyric poets were called lyric because they played the lyre and they sang their lyrics. They were singer-songwriters, and they weren't just poets, but they were singer-songwriters like Taylor Swift or Bob Dylan, and as celebrated in their time. But for most of them, all that was left was little shreds of pottery and paper that I took it upon myself to kind of reassemble it, and adding little bits and pieces to stick them together into songs that made sense to me. And this is a song that Stesichorus was a wonderful lyric poet from the 7th century and 6th century BC. And he wrote a song about Aphrodite, repeating the usual story that Helen of Troy was responsible for the tragedies of the Trojan War. And the next day he woke up blind, and that night he had a dream, and she came to him in the dream. And the following day he wrote a song which he calls the Palinode, that told the other story, that it was not Helen of Troy's fault, but Aphrodite. And this is my reassembly, my first Stesichorus. Wreath of violets and rose of wild narcissus, dolphin on the shield of Odysseus. A night with 5 watches, one too many notches on the belt of Aphrodite. But Helen wore tonight just the shadow of a ghost of a dream. She is here, she is there, and in between. The moment men see her face, frozen like kings in place, stones hit the ground shattering. And I hear, how can you love me? How can you love me? How can you love me? Sings the Asystalian bird. How can you love me? How can you love me? After all you've heard. I know you by the curl of your hair, your evanescence hanging in the air. This punishment was meant to be. I was blind, but now I see. Yeah, your apparition followed me like a shadow dancer in a world rich with legend and rumor. Would that we had seen it sooner. This palinode will start to tell how myth is like a wishing well, with a mirror in each hand. And I hear, how can you love me? How can you love me? How can you love me? Sings the Asystalian bird. How can you love me? How can you love me after all you've heard? As long as there's a long-winged hawk riding an invisible wing, I will be remembering you said, how can you love me? How can you love me? How can you love me? Sings the assistant bird. How can you love me? How can you love me after all you've heard? Well, I say, how can you love me? How can you love me? How can you love me? Sings this nightingale. How can you love me? How can you love me after echoing your former tale? And you say, how can you love me? How can you love me? How can you love me? Let me count the way. How can you love me? How can you love me in your works and day? Letting your emotions blaze, or in just a word or phrase.
Beautiful.
So much. Such a pleasure to do this whole thing. It's everything that Christine does turns to gold. She's like the folky godmother. We have to try to help keep her healthy. Who knows what she'll do next year? This is the most exquisite Christmas present for folk music lovers I've ever seen or imagined. This beautiful little box. Sorry, you can't get any more. They're sold out. This beautiful little box created by a wonderful artisan in the Ukraine for this 80 beautiful songs, and it's if anything will carry you through a year of pandemic, the Seasons Project will. I'm in way back when I was Rod was writing songs at the and Christine were writing songs at the cafe in Greenwich Village. I was on the Upper West Side with I had a rock band, and I went to the gym and one afternoon and worn out walking back across the park to my place. I started to get an idea in my head for a song, and I started walking faster and faster. And by the time I got to my apartment on 81st and West End, I ran up the 5 flights and three steps at a time to sing into a cassette machine as quickly as I could. The idea that I had, the cassettes, they were great. That was an artifact. It fit in the palm of your hand. I mean, the box is better, but the cassette was pretty cool. As I was writing it, I got it into my head that Anne Murray should do it. She was the wonderful Canadian songstress, and my publisher got it to her, and she did it. And then the Oak Ridge Boys did it, and Don King, the country singer, had a hit with it. Not Don King, the boxing promoter. I wish that it was Don King, the boxing promoter, who'd had a hit with it. That would have been cool. But I got a couple of gold records out of it, and I was so flattered that Anne did the song. like so many folks in the songs in the folky world, it's a song about love with imagery about charity, which has become kind of a song about charity with imagery about love. Take this heart, give it to charity. Take this heart, give it to the poor. Take this heart, give it to the Salvation Army. I don't think I need it anymore. Dear God, I'm writing you these words, 'cause I know you'll understand. Dear Lord, sending you this letter, 'cause I gotta leave it in your hands. So take this heart and give it to charity. Take this heart and give it to the poor. Take this heart and give it to the Salvation Army. I don't think I need it anymore. My girl, she said she had to leave. This time she said there was no doubt about it. I wore my heart upon my sleeve. Now I guess I wore it out. So take this heart and give it to charity. Take this heart, give it to the poor. Take this heart and give it to the Salvation Army. I don't think I need it anymore. I don't think I need it anymore.
Wow.
So I'm sitting here in Waltham, Massachusetts, with 6 inches of snow just fallen last night and today. It's the snow is all over the place. We're in a house, my great friend Ed Coe's house, and with my big brother Kim. We're helping to settle the estate of my wonderful stepfather, Chris Fincham, who passed away at 95 in September. And he was, I think, about 3,000. He was from an old English family. I think he was about 3,000th on the list of, in line to be a succession to be the King of England. And I don't think he ever thought about killing the other 2,999 people in front of him, or did he? Let's see. So this song is also on the Seasons project, and it's also a song that I sang at the very first Greenwich Village Folk Festival in 1987. And a couple of years later, it was recorded for the second time by Lucy Kaplansky at the behest of Christine Lavin, being produced by Sean Colvin. And the song is about the eternal triangle. Well, that's my eternal triangle. And it's called, it's really about Guinevere and Arthur and Lancelot and Helen and Menelaus and Paris, and how we've all got to spend time on every point of that triangle as it rings through the mythos of our lives. Guinevere, in my castle in Normandy, make a new home with me. Come follow me down. Guinevere, all my honor and glory will just be a story of the fall of the crown. Am I some dancing Lancelot who only falls in love with a woman who belongs to someone else? Is it just the blood of Paris running through my veins that sees a taken woman, and myself I can't restrain? Is this knight of cups in his noble stance just a jack of clubs with an eye askance on the queen of hearts in a royal blue? I may shield the poor, but I can't save you. Guinevere, in my castle in Normandy, make a new home with me. Come follow me down. Guinevere, all my honor and glory will just be a story of the fall of the crown. Golden apples on the mountain, this one fell to me. We are planets in a heartless gravity. I never chose to make a choice. It felt like someone else's voice saying all those crazy things down on one knee. Cassandra never cast a shadow, now it's racing to the shore. Oh, the face that launched 1,000 ships is sailing one more. Guinevere, in my castle in Normandy, make a new home with me. Come follow me down. Guinevere, all my honor and glory will just be a story of the fall of the crown. Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Robin. Robin Batau. So good to see you again.
You know, and Ray and Rod and Agnes and Agnes and Daniel and David. Oh, what a night. This was great.
It's been a fine night. We've got one more performer to go tonight, and I'm sorry, I had my microphone on mute there. Sorry about that. Well, anyway, we thank you, Robin. That was a great set, and sorry we did have some technical issues there, but we've been having an amazing night. We did have a couple of people who unfortunately weren't able to be with us because of illness. We wish Kat Goldman and Kyle Hancharik, and also our fearless leader, Christine Lavin, who produced the Seasons Project. We hope they get well very soon. It's cold and flu season, folks. Cover up. Watch when you sneeze. Don't want to infect your neighbors, and get your shots. I don't want to tell you again, okay? Well, again, thanks to everybody who's been donating tonight and keeping the festival going. It's been an honor to pay tribute to Christine Album and the Seasons Project. And our next performer was one of the originals. The first album, well, actually, the second album was called When October Goes. It was songs about autumn. And it featured one of our next performer's songs sung by Susie Burke. The very first collection was the Winter Collection. And our next guest was featured on that one as well. David has released 15 albums in his career. He's also the director of the annual Summer Songs Songwriting Camp in New York State, as well as the Cape Cod Songwriters Retreat in Provincetown, Massachusetts. He leads musical tour groups to Ireland and Scotland. He's also headed 6 rafting trips on the Salmon River in Idaho. Well, he lives on Cape Cod, where he also runs the Full Moon Open Mic Series, which has been raising money for local nonprofits since 2005. He's a brilliant songwriter, and as you can see, an organizer as well. Let's give a warm welcome to David Roth.
Hey, Ron. Thanks for that great intro. Oh, look. Bound by Patricia. All right, off you go. Gosh, what a great night, and hearing some of these people. I was a fan of Robin and David Batau in the 80s, when I lived in Greenwich Village. And, of course, Rod MacDonald was one of the leading guiding lights there, too. And really, it was an amazing time in the city. And I was lucky enough to meet Christine. And Christine, I wish you well. I don't know if your computer ran out of juice or if you're able to tune in tonight, but I add my my voice to the many who hold you in such high regard for your selflessness and your kindness. Everyone looks for their calling in love, but I always find it surprising the way people say that they're falling in love when I always felt I was rising, floating right off of the ground and reaching something that I only have dreamed of. I'm not falling at all, I am rising in love. And everyone talks about tying the knot, but I have a hard time agreeing with the way that we bind up the love that we've got, when the feeling of love should be freeing, lifting each other up instead of giving one another a shove. We won't be falling at all, we'll be rising in love. How do you let love grow? You've got to give it a chance when you found it. A bird in your hand will stay until you start to close your fingers around it. Love is a river whose waters we test, and a measure of where we are going. But you never can step in the same river twice, for the water is constantly flowing. But the deeper the river, the greater the trust. The more that we're rising above, we won't be falling at all. We'll be rising in love. I am not falling at all, I am rising. I'm not falling at all, I am rising. I am not falling at all, I am rising in love. I'm rising in love. I'm rising in love. I am rising in love. Tell me it came through. Give me a thumbs up or something. Was the sound okay? Thank goodness. That's, I relocated the headquarters of World Day Roth Music from our guest room on the second floor of our house here on the Cape to the basement, So it's very reminiscent of all the coffee houses I played, basement coffee houses, and finally I'm getting to play some gigs that are at sea level and above. So all these years. Well, before I go into my next song, just really briefly, I got a phone call in my fifth floor walk up at 22nd Street and 8th Avenue from Christine, mid to late 1980s, and she was very excited. She had gone to the 100th anniversary of Carnegie Hall concert the night before, and she called me up the next day, David, you'll never guess what happened. I said, you're right. Why don't you start telling me? And she says, I went to the 100th anniversary of a Carnegie Hall concert last night, and Andrea Marcovici, who was a big soap opera star at the time, sang Rising in Love, sang one of my songs at the 100th anniversary. And I said, oh, that's really great. And she said, but that wasn't the best thing about the whole night. And I'm thinking, I guess I had thoughts of grandeur. I'm thinking, oh, did like hundreds or thousands of people leap to their feet and say, where did this song come from? Who is this David Roth? And I said, what was it? What was the best thing? She says, I was sitting right behind John Malkovich. So it was a very humbling moment. I later called up my dad, who was still alive at the time in Chicago. That's where I'm from. And I said, Dad, my friend just told me they played one of my songs at the 100th anniversary of Carnegie Hall, Rising in Love. And good old Irving, my Russian immigrant Jewish father, said, do you get any money for that? So I'm still looking into it. I don't know if the statute of limitations has run out. Well, I would be remiss in not playing a song like this tonight. It's based on a true story, and it sounds like it could have been written recently, but this goes back a few years for me, too. When I heard this story, I was just riveted. True story. Ahmed had a plastic gun, a toy, that's all it was. Got it from his uncle one December just because. The older boys were rebels and he liked to play along. And one day he'd grow up to be as big and brave and strong. Israeli soldiers often searched the Jenin camps and towns. They were looking for insurgents, they were always clamping down. The residents resented these intrusions on their lives. The rebels fired rifles, the younger boys threw knives. One Thursday came another clash between these warring groups. Again the bullets, stones, and rocks, the rebels and the troops. A soldier saw a gunman and he fired at a boy. The victim was a 12-year-old, his weapon was a toy. Ahmed al-Khatib was taken off to Ramallah, but his wounds were such that he was transferred out to Israel, a hospital in Haifa where the Jewish doctors did every single thing they could to help this child live. Despite their greatest efforts, Ahmed passed away. A family's worst nightmare turned reality that day. And that's when they had every reason to exact revenge, to carry out this history of this hatred between men. They could have shouted out in anger, outrage, grief, and pain. They could have caused a riot against the Jews who'd killed their son. What would they do to face this darkest hour of their lives? They donated all his organs so that others might survive. A liver for a baby, 2 kidneys for a child, 1 lung each, a girl and boy, ages 4 and 5. A woman in her 50s got the second chance she'd need. A 12-year-old received the heart of Ahmed Al-Khatib. And some were Palestinians, and some of them were Jews. The family's insistence was that no one be refused. The neighbors asked the father about this decision he had reached. A heart that can forgive will bring us closer to peace. A powerful reminder to those who might forget the humanity of those who live on the other side of the fence. Somewhere in this world today, 6 people live and breathe the legacy of those who cherished Ahmed Al-Khatib. I've got one more for you. And this is probably the second or third time I've played this song. The first time was January of 2022. It was 2 years ago, almost to the day, and it was on the Greenwich Village Virtual Folk Festival. We were also doing something to celebrate Christine Lavin that night. So I want to thank you all again for having me. Thanks to the sound guys for pulling the tech together, such as it is. You know, this world of sound waves and airwaves and basements and wires and cables and hardwiring and Bluetooth are so strange and so inconsistent. That thank you for all your efforts to make us all sound as good as we possibly can. I moved to New York City in 1980 after a backpacking trip around the world with my best friend. And I landed in Newark Airport in the summer of 1980. And we go from there. I got a little place in 1980, 6th Avenue and 12th Street in my new town. One Monday night I took a stroll. I heard some music, oh my soul, and that's the night my whole life turned around. My footsteps took me down to Greenwich Village, and through a looking glass a vision came. A bunch of people taking turns with voices and guitars, and I knew that I would never be the same. As I came to be acquainted with these writers and their songs, I thought maybe I could write some of my own. There was Jack and Rod and Paul and Frank, Suzanne, Ruth Ann and Brian and Cliff, David, Hugh, Lucy, Josh and Sean. Too many more to name here, but you know who you are. and one stood out, a real living doll. Oh, she would have us think that we were ready for the big time by the way that she would cheerlead for us all. That's Christine. That's Christine. Generous and kind and smart and never ever mean. That would be your friend and mine, Christine. When Julie Gold came up with From a Distance, Chris was taking tapes all over town. Nancy Griffith saw the light, and then the tune took off, and Bette Midler won a Grammy with that song. The first time Christine played at Gracie Mansion, she called me up the next day, all abuzz. She said that Mayor Ed loved folk musicians, and I got to play that gig 2 times because that's Christine. That's Christine. Generous and kind and smart and never ever mean. That would be your friend and mine, Christine. She took guitar from Dave Van Ronk and networked all around. An unelected leader of a sacred underground. She got me right between the eyes when she wrote about those new age guys. No one has the kind of mind for doing what she does. And just as if that weren't enough, she twirls batons and other stuff, like folding napkins, knitting, doing nails, and all because that's Christine. That's Christine. Generous and kind and smart and never ever mean. That would be your friend and mine, Christine. Ah, sing with me. That's Christine. That's Christine. Selfless, thoughtful, full of grace, and never ever mean. That would be your friend and mine, Christine. Oh, that would be your friend and mine, Christine.
Woohoo! Yeah, Dave. Yeah, Christine.
There's Roth. Hey, David, since you were able to get the line back up, could we ask for an encore?
Happy birthday.
Oh, come on. No, that wouldn't be fair. But, you know, I mean, are you trying to fill time here? I got something we could all sing together, as long as you don't open all the mics. As long as you don't mind. I was invited to the Greenwich Village Trip Festival of Arts and Activism in September a few months ago to do their first ever kids songwriting program. I came up with a workshop for these kids in the village at the Greenwich Village Music School called Songwriting to Save the World. And the subtitle is Just in Time, I Hope. I had first to third graders who are 6 to 8 years old for 75 minutes on a Saturday morning. And we wrote a song, which I will sing for you now. And it's a big sing-along, so you can join me. And it's in the key of A if you want to play along on mute. And we did a world premiere at a library in the village the next day. We played our new song. And this past summer, Tricia and I, who you met briefly before my signal went out, we had some J1 students here living at our house. We've hosted international college students the last few summers here at our house, 20-somethings from Turkey and Kazakhstan and Serbia and Albania. We love these kids, and they need a place to stay while they're working in all the restaurants on Cape Cod and stuff. They're called J1s. It's this kind of visa they get. So I had Sergio and Milena translate the chorus of this big sing-along into Serbian and Russian. So you can get to sing a little Serbian and Russian tonight. And we're playing in the key of A. It's just got 3 chords. But I'm tricking you because I got a capo on the 2nd fret. And it's called One Beautiful World, birthed in Greenwich Village itself. So here goes something. Here's the chorus. One beautiful world. One beautiful world. Plants and animals, boys and girls in one beautiful world. I'll make it easier. I'll take the capo off. There we go. Try it with me. It goes. One beautiful world. One beautiful world. Plants and animals, boys and girls in one beautiful world. Young kids like to hear their names in a song, so that's where we started. Amy and Amy are here, 2 Amy's. Andrew and Andrew are 2. Who knew? Florence and James and Jim and Kurt are writing this song just for you. Where are we writing? In one beautiful world. One beautiful world. Plants and animals, boys and girls in one beautiful world. Oh, and Maureen and Mia and Mike, alliteration. Sloan and David and Strum, that's what they call my guitar. Bringing more music to the earth, bringing more laughter and fun. Here we go. In one beautiful world. One beautiful world. Plants and animals, boys and girls in one beautiful world. Serbian. Jedan prelepe svet. Try that with me. Jedan prelepe svet. My turn. Bilka Jivutnia, the chazi devojčice. Jedan prelepe svet, which means you take it. One beautiful world. Plants and animals, boys and girls in one beautiful world. Verse 3. I want to see more naps in the world. More toys, more dogs, more cats. More ostriches, more smiles on giraffes. That's all I have to say about that, because it's one beautiful world. Brush off your Russian, it's coming. One beautiful world. Plants and animals, boys and girls in one beautiful world. Adin Prakasny Mir. Do that. Adin Prakasny Mir. My turn. Rastinya Животня, мальчики двошки. Adin Prakasny Mir. And I just added my own verse in my own first grade voice to wrap up the song. Oh, what will we do to step up? What will it take to calm down? When will we know we're all we've got? We are walking each other home in one beautiful world. One beautiful world. Plants and animals,
Yeah. David Roth. What a beautiful world. What a beautiful way to end. Thank you so much, David Roth. What a perfect ending. And while this was playing, you folks at home can't see this, but I'm watching backstage and I see all these artists playing guitars, singing along. I wish we could broadcast it live, but you could never get it in sync. But it was just beautiful. And it was a beautiful night with a tribute to Christine Lavin and the Seasons Project. I see Christine backstage. I don't know if she wants to go on camera. Give me a thumbs up if you do. Let's bring Christine on. She's here. She's under the weather, but she's with us. Christine, yeah.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, barely. How are you feeling?
Feel so much better now just hearing all this music, and I've been making videos for everybody. So I'll be sending them to you over the next couple of days.
Cool.
Thank you all so much, and that song by David Roth was unbelievable. Really. And the reason why I mentioned John Malkovich is because he's a bald-headed man. And I put his name in the song because he sat in front of me at Carnegie Hall.
Oh, Chris, thank you so much. I'm sorry you couldn't be with us today. I was so looking forward to emceeing with you again, but you got to rest that voice. We need you too much. And again, on behalf of everybody here, thank you for putting this project together. 80 songs, 65 artists, and it's just an incredible piece of work. And I hope you're able to I know it's sold out, but I hope there's some way that you can get this out to the public, because I know there's probably a lot more people watching tonight would love to get a copy. So who knows what'll happen. Fingers
That's right.
crossed.
Maybe some record company will come to our rescue.
That's right. Let's hope so.
That would be nice.
Well, let's
thank you, all you guys. You did just a beautiful, beautiful job.
Hey, everybody should turn their mics on.
Yeah, let's thank everybody.
All at once.
Happy
birthday to you.
No!
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Happy birthday
just love it. So let's thank all the artists that were here tonight. Daniel Kainer, Jane Godfrey, Tina Ross, Greg Greenway, Matt Agnes, Judy Cass, Rod MacDonald, Robin Batau, and David Roth. And let's also send some get well wishes out to Kat Goldman, Kyle Hancharik, and of course Christine Lavin as well. And a big round of applause for our wonderful sound people, John Ziola and Greg Greenway, and of course everybody who's put this together, Rod MacDonald, Ray Mike, Posse. It's just been a tremendous event, and of course thanks to all of you who have donated to our tip jar. GreenwichVillageFolkFestival.org is the website. You can find out how to donate there. You can also go to youtube.com to watch all of the videos of this night and all the previous nights. And coming up February 4th, we will be back. And we don't have a full lineup yet, but I can tell you David Massengill will be here, Hugh Blumenfeld, and the Scooches, band that was formerly known as Banjo Nickaroo and the Scooches. So we're going to have a lot of fun, more great music in the months to come. Again, thanks to everybody for being here tonight, and we'll see you February 4th, 7 p.m.